Since you're furthest into your imagination, go ahead. You sit up nice and straight. Open your eyes. And your name's Allison, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. And if you don't mind me asking, Allison, how old are you?
40.
40. How much do you remember about when you were actually in kindergarten? Do you remember? Do you remember what your teacher's name was?
Mm-hmm.
You do? Okay. I'm assuming you don't remember where you sat in the classroom, though, or do you?
No, not really.
Okay. And you probably didn't know. Did you have like desks in rows, or did you have them like all pushed together in like squares?
It was like a table.
A table. Okay. Did you remember every single person that sat at your table? No. Too long ago?
Yeah.
All right. Watch. Go ahead and relax and sleep. And I'm going to wake you back up. This time when you wake up, you're going to be back in kindergarten. Or you're not back in kindergarten, but you remember clearly kindergarten. And you remember what you wore for picture day. It's going to be picture day. You're going to remember exactly what you wore that day. You're going to remember where you sat in the classroom, what your teacher's name is, and every single person that sat around your table in kindergarten. It's going to be clear as day to you. If you understand that, nod your head yes. Perfect. Everybody sit up nice and straight. Everybody can open their eyes. So Allison, I understand you know a whole lot about kindergarten?
I do.
You have a good memory?
Yeah.
Okay, and what did you wear for picture day?
It was this blue denim dress, and it had like these white flowers on it.
Okay, what was your teacher's name?
Mrs. Rissmiller.
Okay, and where did you sit in the classroom?
I sat back at a table, kind of towards the door. My back was towards the door. I was facing the chalkboard in front.
Sounds good. And what do you, who sat at your table with you?
There was Paul, Amy, and I think Megan.
Paul, Amy, and Megan?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Really appreciate that. Now, if we could go back in time and we went back to Allison's kindergarten classroom, probably none. I mean, the teacher, I think she remembered, but probably the people around her desk where she sat, she might remember what she wore, but most of it's probably not true because it's all in your imagination. But the benefit of hypnosis and focus is you can convince your mind of pretty much anything. So people can convince themselves that they don't need a certain drug. They can convince themselves that they don't need to smoke. They can convince themselves that they don't need to overweight or overeat. They can convince themselves that they don't need to be afraid of whatever the fear is, whatever the anxiety is, whatever the depression is. So there's a lot of benefit to a lot of the stuff that you see up here. So one of the things that I do, like after the show, if anybody's interested, there's 2 things up here. The first one is called Practical Hypnosis. It gives you a link to a secret place on my website that has like a 10-minute audio. And there's about a dozen different issues from drugs and alcohol, smoking, insomnia, bad habits, self-esteem. And so listening to that just as you're drifting off to sleep at night, you listen to it every night for 2 weeks. Then you listen to it every other night for 2 weeks. And then for about once or twice a week for another 2 weeks. So in about a month and a half, you can break just about any habit with that. And also, as a therapist, I specialize in anxiety and depression treatment. I work solely with those in my private practice, and I created a complete recovery program for people who deal with anxiety and depression. I put it all on video. It's 15 video sessions. There's a workbook that goes with it that's free to download, so it gives you full access. So if you know anybody in your life that deals with anxiety or depression, it's a great way to help them out. And then anybody interested in some of the skills, we did a lot of fun things at the beginning with your hands locking together, the magnets on your fingertips, the circle on the chin. I teach you 20 different fun techniques you can do with people just to kind of mess with their minds a little bit and kind of do hypnosis without actually hypnotizing people. And you could literally walk into a party or an event and entertain people for 45 minutes just messing with their minds with some of those things in there. All right, so when the show's over, if anybody's interested, on my website, these sell for $10, but when I do a show, it's always half price. So either one would be $5. And then kids, we did a magic show earlier, but if you weren't at the show, we sold a whole bunch of magic tricks afterwards that are all $5. So if anybody's interested in those are up here as well.